they have the optional all-wheel drive selector right here. Trucks don't have that. But it has two plugins, the small black one, and it has this orange plug-in right here, which is your main harness plug-in. And each one of these terminals in this controls a separate part of the transfer case, whether it's a vacuum actuator or the motor that actually goes onto the side of your transfer case that switches it from four-wheel drive to two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive high. Everything goes through this, including wiring off the motor from your throttle positioning sensor. Everything goes into that. Well, I replaced this, stuck it back in, same issue. All the lights would still be on. It would still run the same, it was still running the same way. It would cut out, spit, sputter, backfire back through the fuel injection. It would, transmission would shift way too fast. And it didn't have no kickdown unless you went 3/4 throttle at least. So, once again, I get back online. All the videos there are pointing to either the switch on the dash or this computer. Well, I just replaced all of them. I even replaced, I forgot to tell y'all, I did replace the switch on the dash. So, this switch right here on the dash is a new one that I ordered off of eBay. It just little clip in the back out there and stuff pops it right out of the dash. There's a clip out there your wiring clips into the back of it. It's pretty simple. It takes like 3 minutes to change it. It was still all lit up. Still service four-wheel drive light. All lit up. Well, I come out one day, started it up, decided to pull the fuse out of the fuse box. So I opened up the fuse box right here, and I scrolled down to where it said four-wheel drive, which is fuse 24. Right there, four-wheel drive, which is fuse 24. And then there was one on here, says fuse 2, 20 amp transfer case. Well, I got to looking, and I was like, alright, well, I'm having trouble with the transfer case. So I started it up, and I pulled number 2 fuse, which is way up here. I pulled this fuse right here out of it. While it was running, and then put it back in while it was running. I heard a click click up underneath the dash on that control module for the transfer case. Lights automatically went out. And it ran fine. So, first couple times I drove it for like a week. About every time I'd stop, I'd pull that fuse, number 2 fuse for the transfer case. While it was running, it would reset the computer up underneath the dash, which is, like I said, this. And all my lights would go out except for the two-wheel drive high light, which it was in two-wheel drive high. And the service four-wheel drive light would go out on the dash. So that got me thinking again that it could possibly be a faulty transfer case control module that I got from the salvage yard. It's possible. So I took and got online, got back on eBay, locked into finding an OGM stock. It was new in the box from GM, but it was old stock computer module. And I went ahead and ordered it. It came out there a couple days later. Crawled back up underneath the dash, tore the dash apart once again up underneath here, and took the control module back out of it, which isn't like real hard. I didn't take these bolts out here to remove it. There is 2
10 millimeter nuts up under. Like, you can't see them, but they're here, and then there's one above it. I took them out, and it takes the whole metal bracket that holds it, like the retaining bracket that holds your computer. It took that and the computer down far enough that I could get up in there with a pick and pull the clip and slide your wiring out.
So I slid both connectors off of it, pulled it back out, put in the new one, hooked it back up, unhooked the battery, reset it. Well, I actually unhooked the battery before I actually hooked up the new computer. And then once I got the new computer in it, control, like the transfer case control module in it, I hooked the battery back up and got back in it. Stuck the key in the switch, hit the switch, like I said, and you can see it says service 4-wheel drive. It went out. All the lights went back out except for the 2-wheel high button. And just like that. That was the issue, was the transfer case control module. I looked all online, and I looked on YouTube video after YouTube video, and none of them really pointed to that specific part for this specific, what was happening with this, with all the lights lit up. Like, literally, every light on here would light up. And I can shut it off here. That buzzing gets on my nerves. But, like, it clicked right there. You can tell the relay there reset itself. But, like I said, when I first turned the switch, this is what it would do. And it would stay all lit up like that. It wouldn't go out. It would stay lit. All them buttons there would be lit up. The indicator for the neutral light up. And it would not go out. And like I said, I got under there and replaced this computer. But since I took this one out, I was curious just to see what it was made out of. So I took it apart, just the outside cover. And apparently what was happening in here was these right here, these two little white boxes, are relays. Now they're soldered in to the circuit board here with all your chips and everything else. But one of these relays wasn't resetting itself when you would shut it off. It was staying connected. And it, with it being connected, it was showing that there was error in it. Because it wasn't breaking connection when you shut it off there, so it would keep charging even after the switch was off. Well, it was one of these relays in here. And when I would pull the fuse out of the dash, like I said, the number 2 fuse is a 20 amp fuse in there for the transfer case. When I pull it out, it would break power to this altogether. And when I would plug it back in with it running, it would recharge power to it. And it would reset the relays in here. And that's why the light would go out. It took me a little bit to figure it out. Like I said, there was no videos there for specifically what was happening to this vehicle. Like I said, it's a 99 GMC Denali with the push button 4-wheel drive, electronic 4-wheel drive. And I'm sure if you took the part number off of these, they are a Siemens relay, and you pulled the board out of it. It's only a couple of screws that holds it into this plate, and resoldered them from the backside. You could actually rebuild this computer. That computer that I got, like I said, it was a old GM stock part that was sitting on a shelf somewhere someone had. It was brand new. It was still in the box. Dorman does make one. Okay, but Dorman, for a remanufactured Dorman, they wanted anywhere from $250 to $500 for this computer box. I went to the junkyard. I actually pulled this out. They give it to me. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for it because, like I said, this one here was actually bad from the salvage yard. I do appreciate them giving it to me there to at least try it, but it, like I said, it did confuse me there because I replaced it and not knowing that it was a bad one from the salvage yard. But like I said, this was the issue I was running into with my vehicle. I don't know there if anybody else would have the same issue, but like I said, I didn't see any other videos online pertaining there to the same situation I was having with this one. So I figured that I would take and make a video and upload it there so I could share it with you guys, gals, whatever, if you're running into the same issue there. Like I said, I'm sure someone has, and it stumped them too. Like I said, I've been around cars since I was a kid, raised around it there with my dad and my older brother. And when it comes to electronics, it's like hunting a needle in a haystack. Luckily, this one here, like I said, it it threw me off. Like I said, I spent money on a brand new ECM underneath the hood, the whole computer module that controls engine, transmission, everything. And it wasn't that problem. That didn't fix it. I crawled underneath of it. I replaced the vacuum solenoid on the transfer case. That did nothing, did not fix it. I replaced both front speed sensors on this at the front hubs. That did not fix it because I thought maybe it was the one because the wiring going to the front hub and the sensor was wore through a little bit, but I don't know if it actually cut the wires. But I did replace it just to be sure that that wasn't the problem, and it did not fix it. So, like I said, the computer threw me a lot of issues, especially when I replaced it with one from a salvage yard, and it still did not fix it. But if you are running into the same issue that I had, start up your vehicle with all the lights lit up, the service four-wheel drive light lit up on the dash. If you're having the same issue, double check to see if it's not one of these relays staying connected and still creating power even with the switch off and it throws it into an error. If you are, pull the fuse cover off of it, like I said, just snaps off, and pull the number 2 20 amp transfer case fuse out of it to reset the computer. If that fixes your problem and resets it and all your lights go off except for the actual position your transfer case is in, whether it's in 2 high, 4 high, whatever, and the service four-wheel drive light goes out, then you got a faulty transfer case control module, and that will fix your problem. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it helps you a lot. So if you liked it, hit like, subscribe. Let me know there what you thought of it, and I'll try to keep you all updated and posted on other projects I'm working on. Like I said, this one here was kind of like a weekend driver. I have fixed up there. Like I said, I went over, put it together. It was a budget vehicle from like 2 years ago. I did it. So, like I said, if you like it, hit like, subscribe. And I did not forget about the S10. It has just been way too cold. The weather changed here in PA. Last weekend, it was wind chill of like 15 below zero. This weekend, it's like 60 degrees out. So, Pennsylvania weather for you. I have lots of other upcoming projects, lots of other projects I've been working on leading up to winter time, you know, just like daily drivers, stuff I did to them. Just, you know, quick things that I did there as it was starting to get cold out. Like I said. And hopefully, like I said, this video helps you. Thank you.